What's up guys, June here, and in this video I'm going to recover something that I covered in the Invention Tips episode 5 video, which I've actually removed from my channel for a couple of reasons. First off, there were a couple of mistakes. I actually mixed up my math on one thing, and I didn't want to be giving out the wrong information to you guys as part of a guide on how to level up a brand new skill. And also, I did a little bit more testing with this. Cannonball prices fell overnight, and I was able to buy a reasonable amount for just 875 GP each, which is an acceptable amount to drop on Invention in my opinion. And I also got some tips from both commenters on the video itself and also from some friends to kind of hone the technique a little bit, so I'm going to recover it in more detail and hopefully give you guys a better result with it. So first off, the best place to do this is on Mascab, actually, not on the Airut Peninsula west of the Eagle's Peak. And of course, for convenience sake, you probably want to have unlocked the upgrade that allows your cannon to automatically fill as long as you have cannonballs in your inventory, and that perk comes from the Artisan's Workshop. Aside from that, the only real requirements for this strategy are a Noxious Scythe and 2 augmented pieces of armor. Any kind of melee armor works just fine. Another thing you might want to consider using is the Brawler Aura, because you won't get 100% hit chance against the Airut without being on a Slayer task and using a Slayer helmet, even if you're using Turmoil and Supreme Overloads. The location you see me setting the cannon up in this video clip seems to work the best and draw the most attention from Airut, and you definitely want to be praying Deflect Melee because the group of them on you deal an incredibly large amount of damage. On the bright side, they drop tons and tons of sharks, so I also suggest that you enable area looting and the loot window interface to make picking that crap up much easier, and also you can end up stockpiling most of your other drops, which will actually refund the vast majority of the cost of the cannonballs and such from doing this method. In general, the shark drops seem to outweigh the amount of damage that the Airut do, but you may also want to activate Devotion occasionally, and you can extend the Devotion timer by killing the Airut, so that cuts down on the damage pretty considerably, and should more than weight it in favor of you being able to camp here as long as you need to. With that said, our objective here is to level up our 3 items, and then our plan is to disassemble the armor, since the armor is going to be relatively inexpensive, but we're going to use an equipment siphon on the side since breaking down a 170mm scythe would be a little bit unnecessary. So we actually get halved experience from doing the siphoning, so there's 2 different ways that we can plan out how to do this. The first is the best weapon XP to invention XP ratio. If money is no option whatsoever, you want to be siphoning your scythe at level 9. However, the difference between all of these different ratios is relatively small, so the best cost-effective way is to level it up to level 12 and use the siphon, and that will give you exactly the same experience as disassembling it at level 10 does, and of course you want to disassemble your armor at level 10 as you would with any of the other strategies. Doing it this way means we get slightly less Invention XP for every weapon XP we gain, but the combination of the size AoE and the cannon and drawing the aggression of all the different Airut means we get tons and tons of weapon XP, significantly more than any other strategy that I've ever talked about. As far as I'm aware, this is actually the fastest way to level up your weapons in-game at this time, and thus this is the fastest Invention XP there is, and it weighs somewhere in between 1 and 2 mil Invention XP per hour at the cost of between 2 and 3,000 cannonballs per hour. Overall, this method isn't as expensive as you'd expect, especially if you're using the area looting to collect all the rune pieces and things that the Airut drop, and I would actually recommend everybody try this out before going to Ganos or anything like that, because the XP here is really ridiculous. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this cleared up some of the stuff and the mistakes that I made in the previous video, and I will see you guys soon.